Sarcastics, and that is kind of not ended, but really ended.
You never know.
No. I'm Kim. I have a channel called Oh It's Just Kim, and what she said as well, that's a thing, and just make videos very sporadically.
My name is Mary. My channel is OK Lunch Fan. One is very important. Yeah, I just make like vlogs. I do music, like I sing like I sing like once a year, so I don't know. Yeah, it's like a couple years back. So.
Hi, I'm Sai. My channel is Jekyll and Sai because hahaha, really funny. And I have no sort of schedule. I just decided to start making videos in 2013 and I haven't stopped since. It's just whenever.
I'm Emma. My channel is called either the three of us for some reason. Yeah, I started making videos in 2011 and they've started thinning out now as well, but I'm trying to get back into it.
So I don't know if you guys had any expectations of what we're going to talk about.
Oh, no.
So I did want to ask, does anyone have any specific topics that they really want to just have us discuss, and also you guys can look around?
Yeah, I should say, like, there was an abuse situation on YouTube, like, a while ago. I'm not going to go into it, because that could be very triggering, but it might be touched on, and if that's something that you're not going to be comfortable with, then maybe head over to the other panel. But it should be fine, like, we're going to keep it very, very mild.
Does anyone have anything they want to talk about? No? Okay, so can I get like, do you guys, would you rather have us talk about like being women on YouTube, or would you rather have us like talk about just YouTube in general? Women?
Yeah.
Women, okay.
Well, we all mostly all girls.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we can start with like, how have you guys like experienced being like alienated from the like YouTube community? That's something we throw around a lot. If you guys are like really knowledgeable on YouTube, we're gonna say a lot of words that like we understand. You know, it really does. But how have you guys like experienced like discrimination or like alienation for your sex on YouTube or while you're making videos?
Who's got that? No, I have quite a lot and I want to like, it's fine.
Okay. Well, I would say firstly that I've never had very many male friends, and that was partly because I went to female secondary school. So I actually, the only like really close male friends I've ever made, I made on YouTube, and those were really good friendships. And they're people who I'm not in touch with as much anymore. But like, so in some sense, I've had a good experience with like some male YouTubers that I've known. And in terms of the community, I feel like it's mostly female. So in terms of the YouTube community,
Like your communities.
yeah, well, yeah, my community, the people I've interacted with, and also I feel like when you go to YouTube events, the crowd is female.
Yeah.
And obviously there's the whole issue that the famous ones aren't, but that's another bit. So I feel like the community has been fairly good to me, male and female. It's the like anonymous comments you occasionally receive from people you don't know that's where the issue arises, usually in like a sexual way. So, but
Just making sure I get the picture.
But I mean, I'm fortunate in that I'm a very, very small YouTuber, so I usually only get comments from people I know or people who have been commenting on my videos for years. So occasionally I'll get an unwanted comment of a sexual nature, but that's personally.
And does it bother you, or is it just like so infrequent that you're like, well, whatever, it happens?
It doesn't bother me. No, it doesn't really bother me usually, apart from I kind of think I don't want other people to see this comment on my video. I don't think this comment is upsetting me. Apart from one time, I made a video that I really liked. It was a video I made with my friends when we did a little race quiz. And it was hilarious. We just had a really great time filming it, and I had such fun editing it. We had like 45 minutes worth of footage.
And it's all just laughing.
There was some alcohol involved. It was great. And it was yeah, it was when I was uploading the video in December, and I wasn't wearing a bra when I filmed it because I was in my pajamas, which maybe was something I should have considered. And I got a comment, I can't remember now what the comment was. The comment was like, noticing that I wasn't wearing a bra, and that was the only time, and I was like, should I remove this video? Because I hadn't even thought about it, and I was like, is this inappropriate for other people? Is this something I shouldn't be sharing? I left it up, but that was the only one that sort of got bothered me. Oh God, no! I just remembered something terrible. It took me for ages. I apologize. Okay, I'll say it quickly. I made a video about feminism, which I look back on it and I watch it, and I'm like, there are things that I said then that I would articulated very differently now. So I might delete it because I do. But someone, one of those amazing atheist-esque bloggers, made a video response to it, in which he had downloaded my video and used clips of my video in his response, and I couldn't watch it just because everything he said was so stupid. I got like 30 seconds in and I was like, there's so many things wrong with this, and so I just didn't watch it. I was like, nothing.
Does anyone follow Marina Shida?
Yeah.
This happens to her like every video.
Yeah.
So imagine every single video and just.
So that was
she
the
handles
only,
it well.
that gave me a lot of anxiety, and I sent him a message being like, can you not use my face without my permission? And he blurred the video, then he blurred the second time I but still had my voice in it, and I was like, can you just delete the video? And he was like, no, I have freedom of speech. And I was like, and I was like, okay, I don't really care, you don't have that many viewers, whatever. So I just left it. But then also I'd forgotten about it.
It's those guys that have like 100,000 that you're like.
Yeah, and then but also he was quite polite in his exchanges with me. Like when I messaged him, he wasn't at all disrespectful. Like in his video, he said pretty horrible things. But then I went and looked at the video, and all the comments he was slagging me off all his subscribers and stuff, like saying I was ugly and stuff. And I was like, okay, that happened. I forgot that happened. Sorry, I spoke crazy.
Anything that you think of?
No, I'm also a pretty small YouTuber, so I haven't experienced anything, which I think I'm quite lucky for being a female YouTuber and a person of colour. And I appear in quite a lot of my videos, but they're not particularly focused on things like feminism.
That's asking.
Yeah.
It's which is terrible. It's
At
just
the same time,
that
you should talk about it. But I similarly, I did go to girls' school, but I haven't really ever had that many male friends. But the first friends I made on YouTube were male, and I still talk to them. So
I would agree. Again, my channel isn't like huge or anything, and I don't make videos about feminism. Though I really want to. Like that's.
I don't know.
I know it's like I know I shouldn't, but I
just
those
disable comments. Just
those are things in my life that I love talking about, and I haven't got the guts to do it on YouTube because I know, and I don't want to have to deal with that because I haven't made any videos like that. I haven't gotten any like really terrible comments, but I do kind of get like freaked out, like a little like because I did a channel swap with a girl from India, and I made a video called What Americans Think of Bollywood, and it was basically just coming from a more like educated background of Bollywood and saying how Americans kind of don't understand like Hindi like cinema and stuff like that. And that video, which is on her channel, has more views than any of my other videos. But I get a lot of subscribers from it. But they're all male Indians or male South Asians, and they are not shy in like commenting like, hey girl, like talk to you sometime, and they'll like try to add me on Facebook and it's not because like it's good that I have the power to just be like no or like delete their comment, but I just kind of opened up this like spiral web. Is that the term? No. I think we were thinking of like building spiders, you know. Anyway, yeah, stopping there. But I think that's about the only thing that I can really like freaks me out that I don't like.
And does it really get to you, or is it making kind of brush?
Yeah, I brush it off really. It doesn't happen often enough that it affects me at all. all, but I feel like if I had a larger percentage of viewers and or subscribers that did that, then it would start to take a toll. But at least in like my friend network, it's always been good. I have like been acquaintances with some of the people that have been like outed for various things anyway. So that's been a little bit awkward and but never like actual friends, so I've always just been not brushed it off, but you know, it doesn't affect me the same way it affects a lot of people.
In terms of like other creators, I haven't really had any problem with that. But yeah, no, definitely if you're a female making videos on YouTube, you're open to much more of the line of fire of aggression. So like, I started making videos when I was 16, so in 2011, and I got more views than I expected to quickly, and so I got like the occasional aggressive ones, but it scared me when I was 16, honestly, especially like the sexually aggressive ones. Like I couldn't just brush them off, they like really affected me. But the worst one was probably when there was some point like 6 months in where YouTube still used to feature like new vloggers and stuff on the front page. And a video of mine, like not even a good one, like a terrible like updates video, it's awful, just got featured on and it got like 100,000 views or something, and every single comment just like bam, 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 just like insults and threats, and it's awful. And that's probably the worst I've ever had, because that had me like that really scared me, like I was just shaken. But I think that is why now I brush them off really easily. Like since then, I've never been scared or like personally affected by a comment, but I had to go through that sort of 48 hours of fear to get through it. I've also had like
how did the 48 hours of fear end? So you just
I just wasn't featured anymore.
all over, and I was like, I'm never making it.
Yeah, then I had a guy, like in the first year I had a guy that like stalked me online for a bit. But yeah, no, definitely viewers, not like other people. And like
Just have a little bit of a we can get back to it.
yeah, but definitely like I don't know what other people.
Yeah, no, I think like definitely the more views you get on a video, the more you are gonna get like the attacky people, because like if a video is just going out to your regular subscribers, in general, they're people who like
They like you.
Yeah, they like you, they watch your videos because they want to listen to what you're saying, and they're not just like lads. But like, but like as soon as a video is like featured on the front page, like happened in Days of Yore, or like someone else tweets about it, so you get people who aren't your regular audience come in, you're gonna get like douchebags, you know, like it's gonna happen. But yeah, I made a video once about feminism, and it was about why you shouldn't pressure victims of things to report it to the police, and that gets so many comments all the time from Reddit users and the like.
That's not fiction.
And it's like, I made it like going on a year ago now at least, and it was like every day I have to check my inbox and just like delete comments from like people who are like, oh, but you should be like, it's probably their fault, or like just terrible, terrible things. And it's just something that like, it's not, you know, a comment about me personally, but it's something that I want to actively get rid of from my comment section, because that is going to be triggering for someone who's just like, you know, they're coming to my video and I'm like, you know, giving hopefully decent advice about that kind of thing, and then they're going to look in the comments and it's like just spewing massive hate and terribleness. So it's like, yeah, I think moderating your own comments is a thing that if you are a female creator, you're probably going to have to do. Like, if you get any amount of views on a video that aren't just from your subscriber base. Yeah, even if it's not, like, you're worried about triggering people and stuff. In terms of like not just the effect it has on other people, but definitely a lot of the time if I get like an aggressive or like an overly sexual comment or something, it's not that it bothers me, not anymore. It's like I'm worried like about people I don't know that very well, like seeing that, and or my mum seeing that, and it's like I know that I've put myself on the internet and I've put myself in the line of fire for all this weird stuff, like the YouTuber confession stuff, and like it happens, and I'm okay with it because you get used to it. Like my picture pops up and I'm like, alright. But I'm worried my mum will be living a little life, and then she'll see that, and she's not like of a generation where she's desensitized to that kind of thing on the internet, and it would horrify her. And I feel more protective of like the people around me, and be like, I don't want you to see the horrible parts that we have to put up with. I want to try to them, but
And you also don't want to give anyone else like the fire. Like you don't want to start the fire. Like that one guy leaves that one comment, or that one person leaves that one comment, and then all of a sudden it's like that's the top like comment, and
Sometimes they
it's
come in
and-
batches though. Is that happening?
Um,
I had like 12 people. Just
I know it's happening to like other, not to me, but I know it's happening to friends.
Yeah.
How come you didn't tell me comments off?
Because some of them are good. Like some of them are like, you know, people offering advice and like other things, and it's like, you know, people sort of saying this is a really good message and that kind of thing, and like turning comments off is like
You want to stimulate good
Yeah,
discussion?
I
It's
enjoy-
discussion that's the important
yeah,
one.
and I enjoy like the community aspect of, you know, the people who aren't the YouTube famous people, and like they're great, but then like you get people coming in and spoiling it, so I want to like keep the good bits.
Any last remarks? Something I was thinking of is the, like, do you guys, so a couple years back, I guess it was like 2 years, you guys probably know Ben Cook. He's the guy. Just an expression. He made a series of videos about like YouTube, and one of them was, I think called like Women on YouTube. Girls on YouTube, and that like blew up not only in his face but like across the universe. And since then, really discussion about not only what women go through on YouTube, but also gender imbalance on YouTube has been really a hot topic. And like before that, you know, like panels like women on YouTube at VidCon or like Play Slide, they didn't really exist, and then people were like, this needs to be discussed, this needs to be talked about, because we know what we're experiencing, and no one's like really taking that into consideration or like saying that it's valid.
man to say it.
Right, exactly.
No,
Yeah.
No, he just told us to make videos.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah. I can't find any girls or like good like.
I remember watching that and it made me really, I couldn't put my finger on why it made me uncomfortable, and I went back and watched it recently and I went,
Yeah. So any comments on that, like, or about subscriber-wise, like, if you think that more men have more subscribers across the board, things like that?
So I have a theory that I think like you have to be a very specific sort of girl to get like to be a big YouTuber, and I think in general you have to be like very conventionally attractive in general. And I think if you're not like, you know, the archetype of like the skinny cis white girl, then you have to present yourself in quite a feminine way, and you have to be like, if you think of, you know, people who aren't, you know, skinny cis white girls, they're generally like really well made up and like really, they look like really good, and I think,
Or they're not known for exploiting other features.
yeah, like I think it's just you have to like as in society, to be a successful woman you also have to look good, and I think that is a big problem. But also the more you feminize yourself, the more you are opening yourself up to abusive comments, because people see, you know, femininity as a weakness that can be attacked and that kind of thing. So I think that is a problem that is not specific to YouTube, but also happens on YouTube.
I was wondering, was that video, was that around the time that Wonderly started?
Yeah.
Around the same
Yeah, I think Wonderly started a little earlier than that, but like in the same like summer time. Yeah. Do you have comments on Wonderly? Do you guys know what Wonderly is? It doesn't really exist anymore, but
I just know.
I think it exists. It exists as a, like it exists still, but it's not functioning the way they wanted it to or the way it was. It was a sub-network under Big Frame, which is a YouTube network, and it was aimed at like women and girls, and I mean, I had many friends who were a part of it. I never jumped into the network thing because I had reasons to, but do you have any comments on that? I don't know where I was going.
It was just, I think I only heard about Wonderly after that video.
Oh,
So I was wondering if that's what prompted it. So it was really good in pushing female creators forward. not in that aggressive way that he does in the video, but in a positive, let's all support each other thing.
Yeah, I mean, I do think I found a lot more female YouTubers kind of indirectly through that video, which I'm not happy about. But that wasn't Ben Cook doing that, that was the responses of all the people. And I guess maybe they did need something to like encourage people to be like, oh, okay, let's start the thing of we're all here. But I don't think we needed Benjamin Cook to do that.
I did really.
I think a lot of things, obviously. Wonderly was separate from that, but it was effective in that.
I remember when that video happened because I'd stopped watching Become a YouTuber when Colin's found him quite annoying. And his lip ring really ill-fitting. I just can't deal with this. So, but then it happened, it blew up, and I was like, oh shit, something's gone down.
We love it.
And I looked into it, and I couldn't watch the whole video because I was like, no, it's still too annoying. And I remember not caring because just the way he was talking about YouTube I was like, this is just completely irrelevant to me and to the way I think about YouTube. Completely, because I have been doing YouTube for 4 years and I have less than 1,000 subscribers. I don't know, I imagine I've made over 200 videos. I've not actually counted, I know there's a thing. But I've made loads of videos, and yeah, I mean, I probably when I started I was like, oh, I'm gonna be famous. But it's just so not a factor in how I think of it now, and for most of the time I've been on YouTube. And so when he was saying, girls, why aren't you famous on YouTube? I was like, because I don't want it. Go away. Like, I'm on YouTube, and well, most of my friends who make videos on YouTube don't make videos, so they just stopped. But you know, at the time, my friends made videos on YouTube. It was like my only creative outlet because I just never picked anything up. It was anything I did, and I just enjoyed having a voice. And so just, yeah, I remember not caring when it came out and everyone was tweeting about it, and I was just like, oh, whatever, because this is just irrelevant to mine.
But good you have that viewpoint because I love the YouTube drama, so I
like it when it's not based around me.
Yeah, it's never based around me. Sometimes it's around friends or people I know, and I'm like, ooh, what's happening? Yeah, go ahead.
I was just wondering, do you think that's a reason why there aren't more famous female YouTubers? Off the top of my head, all I can think of is Zoella. Because maybe the men go into it thinking, yes, I want to be famous, whereas more of the women go into it saying, this way I will have a voice, and then they don't necessarily.
I don't think so.
No.
I also think that people who start making videos on YouTube now, I mean maybe even when in 2011, but it's just the whole way the site functions is so different. And I think if you start making videos now, male or female, you probably are thinking, well, I'm going to be famous.
Yeah, it's
so I don't know. It's probably a combination of factors. Probably a big thing being that the audience, for whatever reasons, predominantly young female, and young females tend to be straight, so therefore they want to look at pretty boys or pretty girls. Something I would disagree with. But, so maybe, but I don't think it's a huge factor.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think that's how.
I think it's important to, I think we separate YouTube from the rest of all entertainment a lot, just because it's a new medium. It's we're not familiar with it, but it's not at all unique to YouTube that men do better. It's all across the board of entertainment. Especially if you look at things like stand-up comedy, it's factual that men are far more successful in it, not because they're more funny, but because it's that psychological thing that people have because of internalized misogyny on female parts and just misogyny on their part. They said that if a male comedian comes out onto the stage, they have 30 seconds to get the crowd, and a female comedian has 7, because we're taught so much to women aren't funny. So when someone's defining their role of trying to make people laugh and stuff, then we just go against it. And I guess it's not on stage and it's not a TV show, but it's somebody trying to either inform in an interesting way or entertain and be funny, and that goes against what women should do. So it's the same psychology going all across the entertainment. And I think addressing it as if it's a completely separate issue, why aren't there big female YouTubers on YouTube? It's because why aren't there more female entertainers being successful across the board?
I think with women making videos on YouTube, at least in my own experience, I feel like I have to be funny. I hate that because I'm not that funny of a person. Like I
think you're very funny.
well, honestly, it doesn't come across in. I don't think it comes across at all. Like I feel very
Being
robotic
funny.
if I'm trying to like be funny for a video, but I feel like the only videos that do well are the videos where I'm like trying to be quirky and like all like, oh look at me, I'm another Grace Helbig, like sort of thing. So I don't know if the rest of you guys feel that way at all, but it also, you know, depends on what kind of videos you're making.
Yeah.
Like if you are like, you talk more about serious stuff, then, you know, you're not gonna try to be like super funny. But if it's just like a normal day to day, like this is what's happening in my life, you don't want to be like a monotone, like boring person. So you try to like, you know.
I feel like YouTube. Oh, sorry. Were you going to say no? You go ahead.
I want to know, do you feel like YouTube empowers you? Like, do you feel you get more confident, or why do you do YouTube?
Well, do we have all day? No.
Well, I didn't start by choice. I was kind of
Okay,
roped
forced
into it.
into it.
Yeah,
That's
I would-
funny.
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny and kind of, you know, not
Yeah,
funny.
yeah.
But like, yeah, I was kind of, I was kind of dragged into this sarcastic thing, and it was like, you know, it was fine.
Not by us.
No, but I know
else.
someone else who decided that this should happen. But like, it was fine, and you know, I'd been a YouTube fan for a while, so it was like, you know, very strange. But like, I was in a position where I had never ever made a video before, and my first video went out to like, was it like 3,000 subscribers
Before we
already?
started, we had
Yeah, because we were in a channel with someone who was already, you know, big on YouTube, and they were like, hey, I'm going to be in this collab channel, so then people subscribed to it, and then my first ever video went out to like 3,000 people, and it was, you know, crazy. But like, it did force me to become, to like, you know, be able to talk to people more, just because like 3 weeks after my first video, I went to this gathering thing, and everyone was like, well, not everyone, but like I had people, everyone was like, oh my god. No, I had people come up to me like, oh my god, I watch this sarcastic channel, and it was like 3 weeks into my first video, and I was like, thanks.
Oh my god, I love it.
Yeah. So I just had to learn how to talk to strangers very, very quickly. So it kind of helped me be more confident, but not by choice. But I guess it's a good thing. I guess. That's my conclusion.
I can't really say. I think it did help me like grow as a human. But I don't know if that's specifically YouTube or if it's just that. I mean, I was 16 when I started. I'm 20 now. That's like
Yeah,
you get it. I've just like become older. That's great. But like I would say like I live with 5 other people, and 90% of them I know through YouTube. Like my entire friend group is based around YouTube, not in like we all watch and talk about it and share it away, but like we got to know each other. Like my past 2 relationships with people I met on YouTube, and it just becomes like I didn't go to university. I instead sort of made friends with people, travelled a bit through meeting them through YouTube. Like I went to little gatherings. We've got a little group of regular people, and I think just through the process of gatherings and making friends and stuff, I did get more confident and better at talking to people. But I think maybe that could have happened in another scenario. Had it not been the YouTube gathering. But yeah, like I like that. Like YouTube is important to me now. But only because like it's my history, and I like sharing ideas with my friends, and then I like to pretend that nothing else is going. But yeah, so I guess so, but maybe not because it's YouTube, just because I was also alive.
I think I can come from the same viewpoint. When I started YouTube, I started watching in like 2008, 2009, and I started making videos in 2010, my freshman year of college. So a lot of people start a lot younger now, and I feel like I'm like a granny when I talk about it sometimes. But I definitely feel like I'm better at it. Obviously, it's not clear now since I can't say words. Better at like forming sentences. I've spoken to crowds of people because of being on YouTube in real life, not just like on the internet. I think it's given me tons of opportunities that I would have never thought of before or been a part of before. Some of the ideas I'm like looking around for my MA dissertation are based on like digital education, digital media, in museums, so like basically what Emily Bradley is doing, if anyone knows who that is,
Yes.
but in a different. It wasn't for being involved on YouTube and just saying like all of my friends are YouTubers. And those are the people I love the most. Like I have my uni friends, I have my friends from home, but like they're the YouTubers that I like love to talk to and be around when I can. Because of course I'm obviously from the United States.
Really?
Yeah. And I mean I have tons of friends who live in California, which is like basically the same distance of like from here to Florida where I'm from. So it's like still a huge divide even though we're in the same country. And then I have tons of friends over here that like I thought I'm gonna be the same country for. I'm gonna be here by the way. So it's been a great experience overall, and I love being a part of it. But then there are, of course, times that it's why am I doing this myself? But then I have to get back and back and do you wanna?
You guys finish what you're doing.
I would like to talk about this.
I mean, if you guys want the question, then I can do my question. But if you want me to just do my question, I can do that too. So I don't mind.
Well, I had something that I was going to say. In terms of confidence, I started same as you when I was 16 and now I'm 20. And I didn't think I was an unconfident person. Like I was pretty chill with who I was. Now I love myself. But I remember consciously thinking about 6 months after I started making videos, I was having a conversation with a group of people and I was like, I am speaking way more than I used to. And I remember thinking actively, I have way more, like it's a really female thing. All the people on the panels today and yesterday have been like, oh, stop me if I'm not making sense. Oh, I'm so sorry, this body is completely incoherent, which is such a female thing. And I found myself in conversations just like holding court. Because that's what you do when you film a video and you're on your own, you film a vlog. You just have to have such confidence in your own voice that you're filling this empty room.
Yeah, I want to say something I didn't touch on, like, not in terms of presenting it, but like when you edit it, it made a big difference with, because you know you have that thing when you're not used to hearing your voice a lot. Like I hated the way I sounded, I hated the way I structured sentences, I hated the way my face moved when I talk. And like, I was like, oh, maybe I can learn to like be better, but now I'm just like, okay, I talk like that, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And it's definitely had that effect on me. Like, I look at myself talking in a video, I'm like, that was a stupid face, but I'm a human and I make those faces. It's given me more confidence in like
The
physically
viewers
how
are
I talk.
relevant.
Yeah. Did you want to say anything about this?
It's pretty much similar to everything that's already been said. I think it's possibly something that just comes with putting yourself on YouTube because you're an active thing. You're deciding to do it. And you're the one watching the 15 minutes of footage that you have for a 2-minute video that you need to edit down. And so you get really aware of what's happening. And I think it just, it all culminates into just acceptance of it.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily that I'm more confident, I just think that I accept it.
Yeah, that's a good.
I was just kind of wondering about, it's sort of more of a broader question, but it does have gendered aspects to it. How do you guys feel about the transfer that has happened from partially due to the CPES and partially due to what that kind of content that encourages, and partially due to obviously the issues that were last year that happened, from the transfer of YouTube being, at least from my perspective of what I've been watching, from going from very vlogging centric to very Let's Play centric. And while there are women in the Let's Play community that are amazing, like Luke Chin actually springs to mind, who's been doing it since like 2007, is just amazing, and I would recommend her if people want that sort of content to watch. But having like gaming, despite there being like an almost, again, identical, almost male-female split, people who play video games, this very like hyper-masculine, very, very vocally anti-feminist in places, like to the point where it's like such a divided topic. Has that affected your own like content? Has it discouraged you from putting like stuff out there?
Well, I mean, I don't make like video games, and I don't play video games, and I've never like. So because that's YouTube is very niche centered, and like there are like there's compartments of like YouTube of what kind of style you do. So I don't even like. I don't follow anything.
Search out on a way you can read it.
Yeah, I have no idea. I know, I hear whispers and things happening. But I don't like actively out, but that's just because I'm not interested in gaming or so. But it
It's
has
like the change in the overall like subscribe leaderboard because like at points it
Oh,
was like vloggers and now it's all like
yeah.
let's players right at the top. So it's kind of like a general thing of vlogging being this really really dominant like presence to becoming more niche and background again. No, it's fine.
Yeah, I definitely noticed the amount of vlogs that I see in my subscriptions, and I'm subscribed to a lot of people. They've gone right down. People still talk about their lives, but it's more of a sit down in front and tell you about my day rather than show you my day, unless you're a daily vlogger, I think. And with gaming, I think it partly comes with certain games, take League of Legends for example, just skyrocketing in popularity. And I think there's definitely an issue in streaming and Let's Plays with how the female content creators are treated and the double standards that are in there and whether or not they show their face and things like that. Whereas you don't really get that with the male side. Nobody questions why they're not showing their face or why they are showing their face. And it's not that I don't know if it's I don't know full time. I think
It's like ironically one of the creators that I get the most vlogs from in my sub box is Dodger, who is Crash to Continue. Some of you may know she's really big, but she does on her second channel, she does like daily vlogging and she does like coffee talks and she talks about her life. And it's just a really bizarre thing of all the vloggers I'm still like following, like not updating anything and then just getting like you are not a vlogger, and this is like your second thing, but I'm seeing so much more of this content. So it's just kind of,
I think it has to do a little bit with the YouTube algorithm, which is something we can't really control, unfortunately. So if the leaders on the subscriber board are all gamers, the people are searching for gaming videos more, and so vlogs have dropped significantly in views, and you may be doing the exact same thing you did 2 years ago and getting 100 plus less views or whatever, depending on your subscriber amount and the normal number of size you get. And so in terms of like just not wanting, you don't want to do it anymore because you feel like it's not worth it anymore, unless if you're thinking about it in the sense of like interacting with the viewers or the audience and it not only being about like just what you want to do, but also being about what your subscribers want to watch. Then if you don't see the views anymore, you're going to stop wanting to make those videos, which I've seen in my, my own channel, and I'm sure you guys have as well.
I think you're right about the algorithm because I have more subscribers now than I ever have before. Like I've never had like a massive spike. That's just been gradually increasing for 4 years. But I now get drastically less views than I used to 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm making very, very similar videos.
There was a point like in about 2012, 2013, and it was
Just drop.
Yeah, no, there was a specific point where they redesigned the front page where instead of showing every video, they like, how Facebook shows you like top stories, they kind of changed it out on the YouTube homepage, and that was the point, that there was a specific time, and you could, if you go back
Was that pre or post Cosmic Panda?
I think that might have been
Was that Cosmic
But
Panda?
that wasn't that last?
Cosmic Panda was on a design of the YouTube homepage.
Yeah.
But yeah, so even if you like go back to like, big YouTubers, you can see the specific point where they went from like 2 million views per video to like 400,000 views, and that dropped, and that had changed everything.
They redid literally everything, not just algorithm, but like what was important, like watch time and all these.
Yeah.
A lot is based on frequency now. Like apparently, the more often you watch someone, the more likely the algorithm is to put them in your subscription box. Which means the people who make videos 3 times a week because they have the time to, are getting, and you watch even just half of them, they're getting in there because it's more frequent. Whereas those of us who maybe accidentally only convert like every 6 months.
And that's the reason why like you'll see people like Louise from Glitter, she'll make 14-minute long videos. But as long as people watch to a certain point, like it's better for them.
I always watch YouTube videos on double speed.
It's better for them to have longer videos because people watch them longer and they know how it all works. And you wish it was just like, I wish I could just make this video and people watch it, but now you have to think about 500 for others.
Yeah. Do you think that's had an influence on like the community then? Because I guess if people were doing something just for fun and everything was all sharing sort of what like you could basically guarantee that you'd get all your subscribers watching video plus some more. Like that was usually what it get. Each video would get more views than you had subscribers. That was just how it worked usually.
That would be insane.
Yeah. And it's just not, but I think maybe because it's an algorithm thing now, even the people who are doing YouTube just because they enjoy interacting with people and just because they enjoy the discussion are having to play the game in the way that they didn't before.
Right.
And maybe that's created a more toxic environment, which is why there's a lot more like imbalance just in those different ways of like
Just like unhappiness all around.
Yeah.
Where it used to be like, oh, fun and like
We're so
making
nostalgic.
friends.
Everyone like 2010. Yeah.
But God.
Like in contrast to like the Let's Play thing, there are lots of spaces on YouTube that are like very female dominated, like makeup beauty vloggers and booktube and ASMR videos, like lots of spaces like this that do have big audiences that are dominated by females. Do you think like diverting from like the things that are popular for men to do, like vlogging, Let's Play and all those kind of things, and like carving out like women-centered spaces on YouTube is a positive thing? Like how do you...
Well, my thought on that is like you get, you know, women who are interested in makeup and women who are interested in all those other things, but like everyone can vlog because everyone has lives, and like I think it's the kind of universality like of, you know, the human experience that women aren't really allowed to have an opinion on, whereas there's like, oh, there's a lady thing and you can talk about the lady thing and that's great, you can do that. But like I think they're kind of not respected as much as like someone who is, you know, like a vlog person.
Yeah, but also I mean like I think people separate them so much. Like there's a female YouTuber and then there's YouTuber.
Yeah.
And that, for some reason they're different, and it's that internalized misogyny thing. Like, oh, but they're not doing creative things. It's like because it's traditionally
Which
done.
is so dumb. It's so dumb because if you've ever tried to make a foodie video, it is so freaking hard. It's so hard. It's just like, how 500 things to think about. Like, am I looking at the camera? Where do I look? I'm putting this.
And then your mom comes into the bedroom and says, what are you doing?
But yeah, I think it's important to sort of see like the bridges across that. Like vloggers and like YouTubers or whatever, they're all female YouTubers and they're all part of this sort of subtle community just by sex, and that's like something that keeps getting separated, but I don't think it should.
I think, like what you were saying, I think it comes down to the, you know, like the riddle about like someone being taken to the hospital and then the doctor operated on them, but it was they say, this is my son, that's possible because there was a man, although assumed gender. Whoever knows what I'm talking about. You know, like default gender is male, like you talk about mankind, and so that's why the most vague genre of YouTube videos where people just talk about their lives, men's voices are more respected and more listened to. And whilst I think it's really great that there are these female-dominated, like positive spaces for female YouTubers like booktube and beauty vloggers, I think it's also just symptomatic.
Do you feel like you do your content, your videos, more for yourself or more for your audience?
Definitely myself.
Well, I don't know, because I made a bunch of like educational videos about feminism, and they I know about that, so they weren't for me. They were for like people who were like, it was, you know, a direct reaction to the, you know, abuse thing that happened, and it was like, well, this is clearly a problem. I'll make this video for other people to understand how it's a problem, how they can, you know, react better to this kind of thing. So
that's where I know you from.
Oh, yeah. So like they were for, you know, not me. But I think like if I were to start vlogging and stuff again, that would be.
Yeah, like I mean, I definitely through like algorithm change and stuff. Because when I first started, I was doing it partially because I was bored. I'd watched YouTubers for a couple of years, and me and a mate just decided we were like, we should do it. She fizzled out quite early on. I haven't seen her in a while. But yeah, so I made them and like
exist in real life.
I made them for a while, like kind of for me, but also like you don't say something out loud unless you want people to hear it. So in the same way, you vlog about stuff. But like, as much as it's like you vlog about stuff, it's not like you're like, oh, I don't want anyone to see that. Of course you do. You're just chatting about your life, right? It's kind of nice to exist and be seen to exist. But so it started off like that, and then I did feel pressure as I got more of an audience to change, and like I was like, oh well, if I got the subscribers from that video, I should make them more like that. But after all the algorithm drops, sort of like when everyone just became a washed up has-been, and as soon as you're like hunched over a bar, and I got just able to be like, oh thank God, like I can chill out again, especially because I'm living with those YouTubers, well, not really, we don't make videos, but living with a bunch of people who, for us, YouTube is part of our life. Suddenly, again, in the past like 6 months, we're all sort of picking up again, because we want to make videos for like each other, and we've got mates that we met over the past few years through gatherings, and it's becoming a much more like, I think it's sort of started again in a way, like, underneath we'll just make videos for fun again. There's no more pressure, because the algorithm's screwed anyway, so what's the point? But that's made a good thing, because that's made like, yeah. So now, me, but that wasn't always the case.
I think it's both. Like we've all kind of said, when it comes to audiences and where those audiences are coming from, like what videos they saw. So my demographic is, like I mentioned in the Bollywood video earlier, is largely Indian. But I don't care to make videos about India or Bollywood or anything like that. I made one once, but now like a huge percentage of my subscribers are people who want to see that kind of video. But I don't want to make that kind of video, so I haven't. So haha, man. So I'm obviously still just doing it for myself. And I think it goes back to like it just being part of your life. It's so hard to kind of get away from it. Like you go months without making a video, but you still want to be connected to it in a different way.
Yeah, it's really difficult. Really loving YouTube and also just.
Yeah, I mean, that's how we all feel. And I think that's something that's really rampant, I guess, in the people who've been doing it all the time and who've kind of fizzled out, or they realize like that there's no point beyond. Like it's not going to get you any. You've reached the point like of it helping your life, and now it's just exists.
Yeah, I did initially say for myself, but there are some videos. I mean, I love editing. That's one of the things that I found through YouTube. And I've always kind of loved graphic design, so I make these weird experimental videos. And there are about 8 or 9 of them on my channel. And people love them. Like, they really love them. And it got to the point where people were asking me how I was doing certain things. And I realized just how much people were really like looking forward to the next one. And it stops me from making them for fun. And it stops me from, like I haven't done it since last Christmas or something. And I was doing them monthly.
Did you find that the schedule affected it? Because I tried to do like one support like before, and then I just hated it. Because I was just like, I was getting tweets like, oh, you posted a video. I was like, I hate you. This for me. I think that's why I have big breaks, because I get into it and then people start wanting it, and I'm like, oh, I've changed my mind.
That makes me think of it. Sorry to bring up a man, but
there actually exist.
But recently I watched like a Jack Howard video about, he used to do this PMS, it's called PMS, but it was like a video every month about what he did that month, and he recently made a video about how he's not doing that anymore because it got to the point where people were like, when are you going to upload PMS? When are you going to do this? Like, and that all the creativity and all the joy sort of was like stripped from it, and he didn't want to do it anymore. And I think that's part of what everyone encounters with YouTube is with an audience. You have expectations and you want to follow them, but then you don't because you just don't. You know. So.
Someone had a question at the back.
Did you had your hand up for ages? Is that really bad for you?
2 questions actually, and I'll start because you just mentioned about editing. I really like editing, I really like making videos. YouTube is not the platform that I put my videos on because of the second part of my question. But I was wondering, have you ever got any kind of shtick for being, like specifically when it comes to editing and like techie stuff, picking out cameras or anything, for being a girl, anything like, I don't know whether you guys make videos out and about, but I know I've got a really gender neutral nickname, it's Krish. I remember turning up to a shoot once and the guy just refusing to let me make the video because he was like, I thought you were a guy. And I was wondering whether you'd had anything kind of that bad or...
That sucks.
Yeah, the thing is, it wasn't just like a shoot. I was ringing the Capital FM Arena for Freshers finale, and I was like, really? People are coming in. What do you want me to do? Like, call my dad. Like, guys feel about companies kind of like, I only know a couple, but like I know like there's like Sierra Whitehall or like Swipe who manages like Hannah Hart, Kingsley and Superwoman I think. And then there's Gleam who's like, I don't know, Hannah Mags, Louise, Zoella, like every other British YouTuber ever. Like, do you think they take something away from the like community that you guys need to?
I can talk about networks.
We we had a network on Sarcastic.
Yeah.
Not really through our decision. It sort of happened. A lot of Sarcastic just happened
Yeah,
to us.
I'm not sure how.
It was, yeah. But they still owe us 60 quid.
They do.
So
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So
why?
yeah.
Because we like gave them a month's notice. We were like, hey, we're gonna do this for this certain amount of month. They were like, okay, that's cool. And then they just were supposed to post at the end of the month and never did. But we didn't make very much money from that actually.
But there's definitely a pressure, like the networks, in the contract of it, a lot of them have, you must make this many videos per month.
Yeah.
I know some of them have, you must acquire this many views per month. So they're forcing you to make videos to a schedule, like we said, that can affect your enthusiasm with it. But they're also forcing you maybe to play the game in a way that you wouldn't normally to try and get the views. And that's probably how it affects the community, not just because you're part of a network, but because of the things that you need to do to maintain the contract. It's just, I mean, you're taking something that's either, if you're looking at a creative like art piece, or if it's just like you're taking something that's just not a brand, but you're like just a little person, just living your little life on the internet, and then suddenly you have to put that as a brand and sell it to people. I guess that will rip apart
Yeah,
an
can I
aspect
just-
of community.
Yeah. The YouTube have this like guidebook that they give to. It's so good. Like, I wanted to make a video once where I just read the guidebook. It's all like, oh, use colourful thumbnails and like, capital letters, and it's like
Put the line.
I have started doing the line.
Where did the line come from?
I don't know. Well, all of a sudden,
Is it on the keyboard? Did you like Google it and copy it?
I think it's on my.
It's on the keyboard.
It's probably not on my Mac. Is that?
Oh, I have it automatically, so I don't have to type it.
You guys are really in a lot. But yeah, so if you're like a YouTuber who signs with a company like a what they call network, then you're encouraged to like properly brand yourself and like they give you like a list of tips and like
They give you a PO box for merch.
yeah, it's ridiculous. It's not.
I mean, I don't know in terms of, I know how it's kind of alienated me in terms of community, because speaking of Wonderly again, is anyone a part of Wonderly here?
I
You're about to slide it off. No, I'm not gonna, I'm just gonna talk about aspects that a lot of people don't know about. So under Wonderly, there was 2 categories. You weren't just a member of Wonderly. You were either a person who had a lot of subscribers, or you were someone who didn't have that many subscribers, but they still wanted to add you to the network so that they had people. So when I found out about that, I got very sort of angry because I felt that it was creating a divide among not only the women who were trying to become a part of the network or were approached to be a part of the network, but also with the women in the network already. Does anyone know who Liverpool Lights is? Yeah. She became a part of Wonderly, but on the 2nd category. And while our really good friend Marina was on the major category, and we were talking about how in the major category they were given so many more perks and things, while the girls in the 2nd category were put to more restrictions and they had to do a certain amount of things. And they weren't considered a part of Wonderly until they got to a certain point. And I just hated that. I felt like it was such a divide that did not need to exist. There was literally no reason for it to exist except maybe to motivate the girls in the 2nd category to go up to the higher category or whatever.
Which is entirely based on numbers.
Yeah, exactly. So after I found out about that, because I was interested in Wonderly, it was different. I had a lot of friends who were part of it, and so I did my research on it. And after I found out about that, I was like, okay, I'm just never gonna join the
I
network.
remember
to some cities ago when Jenny came over and she stayed with me and we filmed a vlog together. Well, we filmed 2 vlogs together. The first one I turned the microphone off. And then I was like, well, let's do that again. And she kept on slacking off Wonderly and then being like, you have to edit that out. 5 times she'd be like, oh, and make some sort of side eye comment about Wonderly and then be like, no, seriously, you can't.
I don't think I've ever had a mate who was in a network that didn't hate it.
No,
Yeah, they all deeply resent it.
Is anyone a YouTuber here? Anyone make videos? Okay. Networks. Don't join a network now. There's like literally no point. There was a point like 3 years ago. Now it's just like, even the big ones, don't do it. Anyone who like wants help beyond what they're doing themselves, get like a manager, like a traditional manager. This is what people are turning to, but networks, like, how many, I get like all these emails from all these like fake networks.
Yeah.
That it's just, I wanna like yell and shake them and be like, stop, like, and I know there's hundreds of people who don't know that these are like not real, that they're just gonna like take the little bit of AdSense money that we make.
And the worst part is, weirdly, a lot of them, because they're like older people who are working for these networks, a lot of them don't really get YouTube anyway. And it's this weird balance between like they're having all this control over these people's creativity on this website that they just don't get. And they know how to pitch it like a brand to companies that want to advertise and videos and stuff, but they really just don't understand anything about how the different communities are interacting or anything. It's just like weird kind of
The generational group.
So if you learned anything today, learn that.
Also, just another thing about networks that's weird. I mean, I don't know if you guys have existed very much on the internet and other spaces, like before YouTube, but when I was 14, I started a fashion blog. Went through various like fashion phases. It's all been deleted from the internet now. It didn't get very much views. I wonder why. But yeah, no, it was like a very minor thing. I think I got like 60 followers on blog, whatever it was called, and I got several messages. I think I had it for like 2 years or something, and I got like maybe a half dozen emails from people like running like fashion blogging networks. So it's like, and even then, as a 15-year-old, I was like, I've got 62 followers.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are you, like, this is shady.